Hey, jag heter Luis och det här är The Global Playlist. This week we are visiting one of the most important countries in the world of music. With a population of only 10 million people, Sweden is one of the top hit songs exporters, and its people has helped reshape the music industry through technology and a different approach to the music business with companies like Spotify, SoundCloud, Epidemic Sound or Cobalt. A big amount of the songs you listen to every day are performed by well-known artists, but in many cases, they are written and produced by less known but super talented Swedish composers and producers. At the same time, Swedish artists, bands and DJs have been topping the global charts since ABBA opened the door in the 70s. And it also has a very rich local scene that is not as international, but it's huge too. Let's discover more in first hand with our amazing guest, Peter. And remember, you can listen to all the music mentioned throughout the episode on the official profile of the project on Spotify. Well, guys, please welcome Peter from Stockholm. Thanks for visiting the Global Playlist.
Yeah, thank you so much. So nice to be here.
Please, could you tell us something about you?
I grew up in the place called in the town called Karlstad in Värmland in Sweden, and I've been working as a freelance musician since '95. Then I started working at a fantastic company like 6 years ago, maybe. So it's been a lot of music in my life.
So how and when did you actively started listening to music?
That's a while back. Maybe when I was like 10, 11 maybe. At that time you were on the one part you were into rock or like into synth.
Okay.
So I started out being into like synth, like Howard Jones and all that stuff, and then turned into rock after that, and did only like listen to of course later on, but like Guns N' Roses and all that stuff.
Could you mention, for example, maybe some Swedish artists that you started listening to at that time, or they were mostly international artists?
Mostly international artists, actually. But one artist that pops up to my mind, is an artist called Mats Ronander. He's like an old blues guy. Because my father had like a vinyl with Mats Ronander, 50/50, I think the song was called, and I enjoyed that a lot. I remember.
And nowadays, what do you listen to? Rock still, or you've changed your taste?
I think I listen to everything, and that's part of my job actually nowadays. So I listen to all kind of stuff, from like peaceful piano, like solo stuff, to like deep house or whatever. But like the White Stripes kind of thing at the moment this week.
Okay.
Next week it will be something else, I think.
Completely different, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Interesting. And let's talk about a little bit about the Swedish music tradition. Is Swedish folk still popular nowadays, or not really?
If you mean like with fiddles and stuff, like that
Yeah.
kind of folk music, yeah. Actually, I was in a band called Harv, and we made like 3 records, I think. I was a part of one of them, and that was like real traditional, like Swedish folk music. But I think that's not so big.
Which would you say are the most popular genres nowadays in Sweden?
I think a lot of like that's is represented in TikTok, like that kind of stuff. Swedish rap, of course. And also like the Afrobeat stuff is quite popular now. We have some like really big TV shows. Like one is called Så mycket bättre, and one of course is the Eurovision, like the Melody Festival, and it's called in Sweden. And when those programs are airing, that will like from those programs it comes a lot of hits.
Those artists in those shows, they are probably just popular in Sweden, or they also, yeah, okay.
Not mostly popular in Sweden.
Okay, and could you mention some names maybe?
One name I can mention is like Darin, Petter, Anna Diaz has been in the show.
And Swedish rap, the artists sing in Swedish or in English?
Many things in Swedish, actually.
Okay.
Like Petter is one example. He was kind of the first one doing like really commercial like rap in Swedish. He released an album called Vinden har vänt, which is really good actually still.
Okay. Sweden is a powerful moving force in music globally. Since ABBA, there have been Swedish artists reaching the top of the charts every decade, let's say. Roxette, Ace of Base, the Cardigans, and
exactly the Hives.
The Hives,
like,
absolutely.
A lot of bands, yeah.
And since the 90s, let's say, composers and producers have been topping the global charts, coming from Sweden. What do you think is the reason for that? I mean, for a relatively small country, why is Sweden so powerful in terms of music and the music industry?
I think that connects really well with the music schools here in Sweden, that you were able to like have a private lessons like learning playing guitar or the piano, or it was very available for everyone. We have like music schools and where you had the chance to like rehearse with friends and stuff like that. So I think it has a lot to do with that.
Okay,
actually.
so the government would be responsible for promoting music, right?
That's also like how I started out, like being in music school, learning playing the guitar with a teacher, like for 20 minutes every week.
Cool.
Like struggling with Blinka Lilla Stjärna. Yeah.
Perfect. And what about electronic music? It's also pretty big in Sweden, right?
Yeah, exactly. Like Avicii and like the Swedish House Mafia and like the whole era of that kind of music is like getting huge in Sweden, I think. And so like Avicii made a big impact, I think, in that.
Yeah. And actually, once it's so sad what happened to him. Did it have a big impact in Sweden? Was it national drama or?
Yeah, kind of. He was like really big. I think if I was really sad when I got the news actually, and I didn't know him at all, but like he seemed to be such a nice guy as well, and worked so hard and was actually a genius in his way.
Absolutely, and so young. Yeah. We can't forget that in Sweden there's also a very strong rock, punk rock, and especially metal scene. With melodic death metal scene from Göteborg with In Flames, At the Gates, and then you have Mon Amarth, Opeth, Meshuggah. Then you also have
Meshuggah. Don't forget Meshuggah.
Yeah, you like them?
Yeah. It's one of my like favorite bands all time. Actually.
Cool.
Genius guys.
Yeah, right. They're amazing. And also like the punk scene or hardcore with Refused, Raised Fist.
Yeah.
And then the rock with Backyard Babies, Helicopters, and all the stuff. Yeah. It's amazing, man. I mean, the list never ends. It's so great.
No.
And of course the Hives that you mentioned before. My question is, these bands that are well known abroad, any random Swede knows that these bands exist, or they are still underground, even being popular abroad?
No, not really underground, I don't think. But I don't know if I ask my mom which who Meshuggah is, But,
okay, I'm not talking about your mom, but I mean, like
you should do. You should talk more about my mom.
Okay, I will next time. But I mean, like people around you or at your office. I don't know, but yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Of course, with the helicopters and stuff like that, but
yeah.
Maybe not with Meshuggah is obviously a huge band in the genre as well.
Okay.
Uh,
Okay,
I
so
would
some
say
are,
yes.
but more, ones more than others, let's say. Okay.
Yeah, more or less. Yeah.
Just talking about the stereotypes, you mentioned before Eurovision
Yeah.
and Melody, how do you call it?
Melodifestivalen.
Melodifestivalen.
Uh,
Those, I mean, I've read that Melodifestivalen, it's watched by almost half of the population of Sweden
yeah,
every year. And
yeah,
I
it's
guess that,
crazy big here.
yeah, and that is where you kind of choose who's going to Eurovision, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Okay, so it's true that Eurovision, it's very important still in the Nordics and in Sweden.
Yeah, but uh, I think Melodifestivalen or the Swedish Eurovision is more important than the big Eurovision in a
Oh
way.
yeah, really?
Yeah, for like our Melodifestivalen, it's 8 weeks in a row with like different competitions and different artists performing and it's a really good window for artists to do promotion as well. So nowadays, a lot of people or a lot of artists want to be in Melodifestivalen because like such a good window.
Okay,
It's a big reach.
yeah, but it's but they're not established artists, right? Or they are?
Yeah, many are established artists.
Okay, I thought it was for like young artists or stuff like that that were beginning
No,
their
it's like
careers. No.
it's a mix, I would say.
Okay, now it's time. Please, Peter, could you tell us the title and the artist of the song you want to include on the global playlist? And don't forget to tell us why in your mother tongue, please.
It was a really hard choice. I think there are so many good songs, of course. But my pick of the song finally was a song called 100 with an artist called Anna Diaz. En fantastisk låt tycker jag. Och för att ge lite kontext, den första gången jag hörde den hade jobbat en hel dag. Det var sommar. Kom hem, sätter mig på altanen, häller upp ett glas vin, på med hörlurarna och jag var helt tagen av den låten. Fantastisk sång, otroligt luftig och härlig produktion och en text som man kunde relatera till på något sätt. Den var fantastisk, eller är fantastisk.
Now it's time for the quiz and the secret question. Are you ready, Peter?
Yeah, I'm ready.
First album you purchased?
Actually, it was not an album. It was like a cassette tape, and it was Howard Jones' 12-inch remix tape or something, I think. Songs like What is Love, for example.
Favorite album of all time?
That's a very hard question, but I think one album that influenced me the most is like it's Continuum with John Mayer, actually.
Top 3 artists?
Also very hard. I would go for Prince. I would go for Jimi Hendrix. And I would go for Meshuggah.
Really? Great.
Yeah.
Great choices, man. Favorite song worldwide?
It's always changes, but right now I would say Lazaretto with Jack White.
Okay, another great guitar player, right?
Yeah. Or Sign of the Times with Prince.
Top concert ever?
I think the one that sticks is when I saw Timbuktu with his band Damn at Debaser Medborgarplatsen. I think that was a really, really great memory.
Favorite venue?
Favorite venue, I would say Scandinavium in Gothenburg. And that's why I played a couple of those like arena venue with like 10,000 people, and that venue really is like the sound from the audience is crazy. It's like the construction or something. It's like really, really nice.
Artist you would love to see performing live?
I was supposed to go to London this summer to see Billie Eilish, and that was cancelled, of course. So I'm really sad for that. So yeah, I would say Billie Eilish.
You're still looking forward to it then? Right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm sure you will at some point.
Yeah, hopefully.
Top festival ever, or even if you haven't been?
I would say Woodstock. Seeing Hendrix at Woodstock.
And now, guilty pleasure that you want to share with everybody?
Oh, all the boy bands.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All the Max Martin, Dennis Pop boy band stuff. That's great.
You like listening to them from time to time?
From time to time. The songs are amazing sometimes.
Yeah. The composers do a great job, right?
Exactly.
and the producers especially.
Yeah, the producers especially, yeah.
Okay, would you highlight any of them?
No. Maybe I should go for Westlife then.
Westlife, okay. Thanks, Peter. Thanks for the effort. Great. Now it's time for the secret question. Okay. So the Swedish composer and producer Max Martin, whose real name is Carl Martin Sandberg, has written, co-written, or produced 23 Billboard Hot 100 #1 hit songs. I'm going to give you 20 seconds to tell me 3 artists that have recorded those songs. Okay, and the time starts now.
Backstreet Boys, Katy Perry, Pink.
Okay, let me check.
Westlife.
Okay, the time is gone. Let me check if that's correct. Let's check. So you said Pink. Okay, we have Pink with So What, 2008. You also said Kelly Clarkson, maybe? Or
Katy Perry, I did say, right?
Katy Perry. Okay, Katy Perry. We have I Kissed a Girl, 2008. 2010 with Teenage Dream, actually.
Huh?
And a couple more. Roar, Dark Horse, so Part of Me. So yeah, I think that was a great success by the couple. And then you mentioned, I think it was, well, anyway, I think, let's say you had it right, okay?
Yeah.
Because even if it was not a top 100, Billboard 100, Backstreet Boys was definitely #1
On
everywhere.
the list. Yeah.
On the list, or maybe on another list. So yeah, okay, congratulations, Peter. Well done, well done. Okay, guys, so that was all for today. Hope you enjoyed and maybe discover some music. And don't forget to listen to the Global Playlist and the playlist with all the mentions of this episode on Spotify. Don't forget to listen to the podcast too if you want to know more about the song that Peter chose for the playlist. That's all. Thanks a lot, Peter. It's been a great pleasure and a lot of fun.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay.
Have a nice one. Yeah.
See you next week, guys. Enjoy. Bye-bye.